I'm so excited that you guys are all here. Even if you're with EXP, if this is your first experience, learning about the company, about the opportunity, welcome to our call. This is the opportunity call with the Culhane organization with Brian Culhane, the co-founder and first president of Exp Realty. He's also the 5th largest shareholder of the company. And he's kind of a big deal. I mean, just a little bit. He's also a personal friend and mentor of mine. And over the last 4.5 years has helped me grow my business to touch over 80 lives across the country. And it's been such an amazing journey and so much fun watching this growth with this company. When I started with this company, it was 4,700 agents. We were in 48 states and only about 5 provinces in Canada. And I think, Matt, I don't know if you know the official count. I think we're at like 71,000 and change agents in 18 countries. You're muted. You muted yourself.
I thought I heard yesterday that something like an agent was joining every 4.5 minutes.
An agent has joined EXP one every 4.5 minutes. That's really impressive. I know they said that last week was like almost 1,100 agents joined our company, which is insane. So we're on average onboarding about 800 to 1,000 agents a week. If you do the math, and I need to go back to my Facebook Lives because this time last year, I predicted we would be between 75,000 and 100,000 agents. I literally said that. I know I said that somewhere. It's on the internet world somewhere. And I'm pretty freaking close to what I thought would happen. We're a far cry from 4,700 in 4 years to hit that. That is absolutely impressive and insane. And I was just on a Facebook Live talking about this because I don't think people understand, like, in 4 short years, like, we see the buzz of like virtual world and cloud office now that we have to because of a pandemic. And we see now, Facebook rebranding as Meta and just how everything's going. But people forget, like, we were the first. Everybody likes the first. You want to be the Google, not the Yahoo. So you're in the right space if this is something that you're looking for. So I'm going to go through the opportunity today. I'm going to pull slides that anybody can go to. Anyone right now can go to exprealty.com and get the same information that you're going to get from me. It's my most favorite thing about this company and our core value of transparency, meaning we're an open book. We have to be. Listen, we're publicly traded on the NASDAQ. The Federal Trade Commission makes our financials an open book for anybody to look over. And the company has been built the same way, meaning everything is the same for everyone, and anybody has an opportunity to look at that information, whether you are an agent with this company and a broker or not. It's my favorite thing because I have access to that information at my fingertips. I don't have to go searching for it, digging for it. It's all right there. So we're going to kind of pull that up here. I don't know if you want to share the screen for that, Matt, really quickly. And then we'll kind of go into this really quick. So hey, from Ozark, yay. Hi, Amber, welcome. You're not far, you're about, like 3 hours from me in St. Louis. So here's the introduction to Exp Realty. As I told you guys, I am Christina Swyers. I am a real estate agent in St. Louis, Missouri. I am a solo agent. I run Christina Swyers Living. I've been a real estate agent for almost 7 years now here in the state of Missouri. And I have held my license with Exp for about 4.5 years now. So I think I'm a little qualified to tell you about the company, and we're going to go through and just kind of hit some of the meat and potatoes, and then I'll go over my experience, and then we're going to have some of our partner agents tell you about their personal experiences with the company. So can you go ahead and go to the next slide, please? Thank you. So we're going to cover the business model. We're going to go over money, compensation. We're going to talk about the cloud office a little bit more, and then our community and what you get with EXP and why this is the fastest growing real estate brokerage in the history of real estate. It legit is. So this guy right here is Glenn Stanford. He's our CEO. He's a millionaire, but he didn't start off like that. I mean, honestly, he is a super smart guy, very humble, very sweet, very kind, but really, really, really smart. And he was one of the very first real estate agents to get into the .com era in the 90s when the internet was just a thing, right? He was one of the pioneers of internet lead generation, became very, very successful, grew a mega team in California with the Red Company KW under Gary Keller. But he had an issue, and the issue was that he was growing faster than the market center he worked for would allow him to have opportunity, meaning he went there, tried to have them give him a piece of the pie, a piece of equity, because he was anchoring that office, and they told him no. So he actually ended up leaving and forming another company called Buyer Tours. At that point in time, Brian Culhane and himself had met in between that. And Glenn really, really believed that agents and brokers do the heavy lifting, and they should be the ones to reap the benefits, not just the broker or the franchise or the CEO of the company. And so Glenn ended up actually leaving Buyer Tours behind through the market crash. Offices became very expensive and it just wasn't affordable. And so he ended up leaving that and turning that into Exp Realty. He came back in 2009 and founded the very first ever cloud office brokerage, Exp. Let's go to the next slides. We're going to go, here's a little bit of a timeline. You guys can go back through this. This is really unnecessary for us to kind of go through each thing. It just kind of talks about the history of the company, when it was founded, when we went public. Glenn was also a stockbroker by trade. I told you he was really smart, right? So he really made sure that agents not only had that equity piece of becoming a shareholder, but also wanted to give them multiple opportunities to earn income, not just from selling real estate. That was really important to him when he built this model. All right, so let's go through here. Yeah, so core values, as I told you, transparency is my favorite, but listen, if you're in real estate in any genre right now, I really hope that these are core values of you in your life. Are you having fun? Are you involved in your community? Are you of service to your community? Also in business, are you with an innovative company that's agile? Listen, the pandemic threw us a huge wrench. Are you working with people that have your best interest in today, 2021, 2022 at heart, with the way that the world is moving and changing, right? Are you in a collaborative space? Or like me, when I started in real estate, I stuck out like a sore thumb in my brokerage. I was one of the younger people in the office and nobody would really help me because they were fearful if they showed me how to do something that I would somehow take business from them. It is completely opposite in this company. If you really plug in and collaborate with the agents across the world, essentially in this company, everyone wants to help and collaborate with you, and it's amazing. And then I hope you have integrity in everything that you're doing as a real estate agent. You know, at Exp Realty, you have to be a Realtor, you have to belong to the National Association of Real Estate Agents, and you have to uphold something called the Code of Ethics. And upon that, there's something called integrity, and I hope every agent has that. So let's keep going through here. So our business model is kind of like how Netflix put Blockbuster out of business, Amazon has put companies like Circuit City out of business, and we are putting traditional real estate brokerages out of business. I mean, honestly, there's no way that we would be having the numbers that we've been putting up now. Like what Matt said, an agent is joining this company once every 4.5 minutes. That's insane. That kind of growth doesn't happen unless something innovative has happened along the way to push that too. And unfortunately, traditional real estate models are dying out, and it's because they're broken. So I'm going to show you why they're broken and how Exp has done it differently in the next slide. So our brokerage here, in a typical franchise, I should say, they have costly overhead. It's very expensive to have some of these offices and a staff. They're locally confined. I find this a lot with really popular boutique brokerages. Maybe they have 1, 2, 3 offices in a local area, in a local market. They can't branch outside of that. And that's really a problem, especially for people like Vivian that we talked to that's in New York that wants to get licensed in Florida, because you then at a franchise would have to end up paying 2 splits in caps and fees at each company. With Exp, it's under 1, meaning once you cap, we're going to get into that, you're 100% anywhere else that you sell, which is incredible. So inconsistent growth incentives, so minimal opportunities for ownership, as we talked about that equity piece that Glenn wanted. You're getting it 5 ways. I'm going to show you how to do that today. And then the limited tech and support. Listen, we all need something to help us power and grow our business. We use a CRM called KV Core. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's pretty popular. And then we have support where I could literally get up brush my teeth, get my cup of coffee, and come in here and sit down in my pajamas and click a button and have somebody in IT fix my stuff. Have somebody in accounting take over and get my questions answered. Go into my broker state office and have a meeting or do a training. You can't do that at a traditional franchise model. And so EXP, as you can see on the right-hand side here, has solved a lot of the problems that are on the left-hand side of the screen. And we're going to go into why. So go to the next slide here. So our cloud campus environment. Yes, we have an avatar. It looks like a video game, but it's freaking awesome. And I'm going to tell you, time is money. It helps you remove the issues that maybe something is wrong where you're at. You don't want to get in your car and sit in traffic and go drive somewhere to get an answer. You want to be able to get that really quickly. So the cloud office is solving a lot of those problems. Also, you can work from anywhere that you have a Wi-Fi access. I travel a lot and I take my computer with me. And I've never had any issues getting into where I needed to be or accessing any of the things that I need to still continue to have my business moving in a forward motion. So working from anywhere, no brick and mortar costs. It's up to you. Listen, there are a lot of people that have a real estate brick and mortar at EXP. You get to decide. You are in more of control of your business with this model. So you can have it, you don't have it. Maybe you have a massive team. Maybe you're a broker owner and you want to keep things the same. Everything can stay the same. You're just brokered by EXP and you're getting that additional support. So it's up to you. Paperless transactions, we use SkySlope, which is genius. It's a checklist. We'll go in and show you that. And then you get immediate access to over 60 hours a week of live trainings. We're not just talking about any kind of trainings here. We're talking about people that know what they're talking about that are allowed to teach. Not just anybody can teach in our cloud office. I'll tell you, I've only been asked twice to teach in the cloud office in 4.5 years, if that tells you anything. Listen, I know something. I know there are people out there and agents out there killing it, selling way more than me, growing massive teams, whatever it is that they're doing. But you're not going to be asked to teach in our cloud office unless you have a physical track record and you know what the hell you're talking about. And that's just the bottom line. And I love that. So qualified training, qualified is the key word there. So let's go to the next slide here. We're going to go into this and we're going to talk about the money, compensation, show me the money, right? So the transparency piece about this company is incredible. No franchise fees, no royalty fees, no desk fees. Every single human that holds their license with our company is on an 80-20 split with a $16,000 cap. Now, in my market, the average sale price is about $280, $290, and you can hit that target usually depending on if you're at a 3% commission. If you do the math in your town, listen, it's really affordable to live here in St. Louis. It's not even fair for people like my partner agent, Andrea, who can hit that cap in 2.5 deals in California. But in my town, it may take you 10 houses. It may take you 12 houses to cap. So, but when you hit that cap at 16,000 paid in, you go to 100%. And the only thing you pay after that is a $250 cap transaction fee. And once you hit that cap transaction fee 20 times, you get something. You get a little trophy. It's really a heavy trophy icon. You hit icon, but that is actually meaning way more. We're going to talk about what that means. So the community, the collaborative environment, we have something called Workplace. Facebook created a product. We were actually one of the flagship companies to use it as a pilot workplace. It looks just like Facebook, and we're in there every day in Messenger and different referral groups getting business and our state groups. Everything is in there accessible, and you can even chat your broker, chat anyone you need. And listen, you know they're going to respond to you because guess what? They can see your message. It's pretty cool. Love it. When we already talked about the cloud environment and how that works. Let's go to the next one here. So let's talk about an additional stream of income. So we talked about how the equity piece is one part, but we're going to talk about why. And so here again, he went over the money, $25 broker review fee per file. And then the E&O, the risk management, is $40 a transaction. This is interesting. There are so many agents that I talk to, they're spending some upward $1,500 a year on E&O. I mean, ours caps at $500. It comes out per transaction, so you don't have to pay it up front. The E&O is kind of like a hidden little thing that a lot of people don't think about as a fee, and ours is really good. So let's go to the next one here. Revenue share. So as Glenn said, he always wanted the agents to earn more, to have the ability to make more, because they're the ones that do the heavy lifting in real estate, right? We're the ones doing all the hard work. If you are at your company, at your brokerage, and you're selling real estate and you're super happy and you love it and you want to bring a friend in because you're having such a great experience, what are you getting for that? Are you getting an add a girl? Are you getting a here's a free dinner? Are you getting a t-shirt? Like, what are you getting for that? Most brokerages, I don't know about you, but most companies that I talk to, they don't give agents very much of anything. So, but the fact that this company is going to give you a percentage of every agent that they bring into the company's profits is pretty incredible. So we talked about the 80-20 split, right? So out of that 20%, 50% of that goes into a pool and it sits there, and that's what gets divided back to the agents in the form of revenue share. So let's talk about that. Go to the next slide, please, so I can show you how it actually is a cascading plan. So I brought in Heather. Heather's a good example. So I brought Heather into the company 2.5 years ago. So every house that Heather sells in a rolling cap, I'm going to make 3.5% gross commission income, and that's going to cap at $2,800 a year on her. So every capping agent that hits 16,000, you're going to earn $2,800 a year off of them. That's pretty snazzy, right? Not bad. That's a little bit more than a dinner. It's a little bit more than an add a girl. I mean, I don't know about you, but again, I want something tangible. So let's talk about how this can work though, if you bring in more people. So let's go to the next, and we're going to kind of show you guys how this works. So the cascading plan is when you bring in somebody into the company, as you can see, could become very, very, very lucrative. Now, you do have to bring in different tiers to unlock. So you would have to bring in 5 agents into your frontline. I call them frontline agents to unlock tier 2, all the way down to 7 lines and 40 agents. So let's go to the next slide. I'll show you how that will work, and at each level what you're going to make. So in line 1, you're going to earn, as I said, $2,800 a year off every capping agent. But if Heather brings in somebody into the company, I'm going to make $3,200 a year off of every capping agent she brings into the company. And as you can see, so on and so forth. And it can be incredibly lucrative, to the key of this year. For me, it'll be 6 figures. 6 figures that I'm making. And I don't call this passive income, I call it active, because I'm actively connecting with agents. I'm actively helping agents come into this brokerage. I'm actively helping them grow their revenue in multiple ways. So I wouldn't say this is passive, but honestly, after a while, it kind of takes a mind of its own, right? Because it can be so lucrative. Many, many real estate agents have taken advantage of this. And it's wonderful. It's so great to have this. I will tell you, it pays all my basic necessities every single month. And you never realize that you're going to need something like this until something happens. Like for me, it was my mom passing away early this year. I just didn't want to sell houses like for a month. I literally just wanted to leave the country. I went to St. Thomas for the week, and having something like this, you don't realize it until hindsight, until you actually are in a situation. So it's always better to think outside the box and do not put all your eggs in one basket, meaning here in the real estate basket, which is just selling houses. Really think about what the potential can be for you to earn another stream of income passively, doing the same thing that you're doing at any other brokerage. You're just not getting paid for it, right? So let's go to the next slide. This goes through the percentage. So that last slide broke down the actual amounts. So 2,800 would equal 3.5% of their gross commission income. And you start earning that the minute that person sells a house and closes the next month. We get direct deposit. Wells Fargo is our big bank here. We don't cash checks at EXP. So everything is direct deposited into our accounts every time we sell houses. Our commissions are, and so is our revenue share on the 21st of the month. Every single month it's been going into my bank account for 4.5 years. So I know it works, I'm proof. And as you can see, every percentage there. So the second part of that, this trophy that I want to talk to you about here, is part of the equity piece. So we have a sustainable equity plan, and you can earn stock 3 ways with that, which is every time you sell your first house every year, you earn shares of stock. Every time you hit that $16,000 cap, you earn shares of stock. And every time you bring an agent into this company and they sell their first house every year, you earn shares of stock. And then we have the Icon Award, which is where you see the trophy, but that trophy is worth $16,000 worth of stock given to me. So When you hit icon, which is you've hit that cap and you've paid in $250 cap transaction fee. So 20 times 250, right? We hit $5,000, and you can see that in your back office. And then you get $8,000 worth of the shares right away. There are cultural requirements that you have to hit. You do have to attend our big EXP conference and our shareholders, and then you have to give back in a way, either by teaching or mentoring agents to get the rest of the stock. But I will tell you, I've done it the last 2 years, and it is not something, it's something that you're automatically going to want to be going to and doing anyway. And then the fifth way that you can earn shares of stock is you can take 5% of every commission check and you can buy the stock at a discount. You get a 10% discount every single time. And that stock, it doesn't have to vest. You can sell that the next day and you can make essentially 10% on your money in a day. I don't know anywhere you can go and do that. So pretty cool. So love the equity piece. Let's go to the cloud-based here. We have agent healthcare. We can talk about that another time. You can always get a call with that. That's great. We talked about the cloud office. We have lots of tech tools. As I told you, we have SkySlope, we have KV Core, we have our community workplace platform, live training. I mean, we essentially have it all, and we have community here, and we have culture. Culture wasn't really here when I started at EXP, though, in my town. And so I had a responsibility to help bring that to our town. And that was really, really important to me. We can stop the screen share. I'm done with all the slides. So I really want to talk to you guys about what are you doing in your business every single day that's going to help you get that goal. Right now, everybody is so worried about their goals for 2022, and things are shifting and changing. What are some of the things that you're going to think about that you're going to want to incorporate into 2022 to help you become more sustainable? If the markets change, if things are changing in our world, this is the key here. This is the key, because you're going to have multiple streams coming in from different ways that is going to protect you if you need it. That's the thing. If you need it is the key. So this company has changed my life, and it's changed a lot of other people's lives. And I want to actually bring the first person that I wanted to bring to the call today is one of my partner agents here in St. Louis. She runs the Evolve Realty Group. I think we've been partnered for about 2.5 years. Heather, is that right?
Yes.
And Heather, tell a little bit about, I'd love for you to tell a little bit about your history in real estate, where you worked before EXP, and how things have been now, and what your personal experience has been with this company and partnering with me, because I think that's really important. You guys can hear things from me, but hearing it from other people and their experiences are reviews are huge. So I want to hear your experience. So take it away, sister.
Okay, so I have been in real estate about 7 years as well. I did something a little wild. I got pregnant, and I was probably about to pop, and I was like, you know what? Let's change your entire life. So actually, while I was sitting in active labor, I was signing up for the E-Key and the Maris Access here at SLAR in between contractions. So if that gives you any indication of how my business has gone, being in real estate, that's a pretty good sweet spot. I like the chaos and the push and the drive. But about 7 years, I've been with small boutique brokerages where I did very well. I've always done well everywhere I went, but it was kind of that piece that you were talking about, is what does your brokerage give to you? And I had a conversation with one of my small boutique brokerages about changing my split. And he was nice. He was great. However, he took a few days to think about it, and he came back to me, and his response was, and I will never forget it. It's just not a good business decision for the brokerage for me to change your split. And I had to, the guy that taught me everything I knew, the guy that gave me my kickstart into real estate, I had to look at him and tell him, well, it's not a very good business decision for me either. So that kind of kicked me into the red team. Okay, K-Dub, good old K-Dub. So I went over to KW, and it was a lot of, go to this class and go to this class and pay to go to this class. And, oh, we need you to attend this meeting and we need your face here and there and everywhere. And I was like, oh my God, when am I supposed to sell real estate? Which is what in my head, I thought is the only thing I could do to make money, which in most brokerages is true. So it was kind of like you said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. There's got to be something more to this. So in February of 2019, I met you, my sponsor, Christina Swyers, and we sat down over a weird situation that we had going on here in St. Louis, and we hit it off because we had come from very similar places as far as what we'd been given in real estate so far. And she was a great talker. She knows this model backwards and forward. And I mean, there wasn't a question I could ask she didn't know the answer to. And so I had to take some time to think about it, because I think up until that point, I felt like I had jumped so many times to boutique brokerages and then KW. I felt like I'd been so quick to make this decision to move brokerages because everything sounds great and everybody and their dog promises you the moon and the stars, and then nobody can deliver. So I took some time to think about it, but in April of 2019, my husband, who was 44 at the time, had emergency heart surgery. And I was sitting in that hospital waiting for him to come out. And I was like, oh my God, if I don't get back to work, we're going to be broke when he gets out of this. If everything goes fine, we will be broke and my kids won't have anything. Like, it was definitely this moment of, we're going to be bankrupt because neither one of us can work. He's laid out. I'm here taking care of him. And that's when it really clicked that there's got to be something better. There's got to be something else. It can't just be that if I'm not working, then money's not coming in. So I called Christina and asked her to resend me the link because it had expired. I called her and I signed up immediately, and that was May of 2019. And when you make that transition over, there's always a little bit of like you feel like the brakes are put on because you're being fed through a fire hose. There is so much information to learn. There's so much at your fingertips that I can just, like she said, hop on. I can be dressed from the waist down or just in PJs or whatever. Like, I can go in and get whatever answer I need. And I actually was just in there the other day. It changes all the time. I was just in, some hub, onboarding hub. And I have never walked in there before in my little avatar, walked in there and somebody greeted me. And I'm like, oh, crap, back out. I don't want to talk to, I didn't need anything. I was just checking out what this was. So
if you start walking around in there, they'll be like, hi, can I help you? And you're like, no, I'm just poking around.
I was like, I don't need anything yet. I was just, you know what? I'll make conversation because now I feel really awkward. So, but there were like 4 people, little avatars standing in there, and they all like just kind of turn and look. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the strangest thing, but so cool that if I need to send somebody in here to ask a question, that I don't have to handhold them all the way in here. If they walk in here, they're going to be greeted the same way. So it was pretty cool experience, and also a very different experience from any time in the past that I've needed anything, because EXP has grown so much, and it's so cool to kind of be on the front end of that and to see it grow so much and to see how much we've evolved. And like, you can literally get anything you need in the world. It's the most bizarre thing. And I'm kind of a nerd. So like, I like video games and stuff. I play video games with my kids all the time, but it's still very strange for this avatar to sit and talk to you. And like, it's very cool. So yeah, I joined EXP, and that was May of 2019. That's my vesting date. So I'm about 6 months off from getting my first 100 and some odd vested shares. So that's pretty. I know a lot of people that have come to EXP have used that to pay off medical debt or student loans, things like that. I'm saving mine for now, because I have a lot of big things planned for my house that I want to do, that I'm going to need that kind of money and that kind of like savings sitting there. So other than that, I just check on it every couple of months, and I'm like, oh my God, it grew again. Oh my God, there's so much money sitting here. It's wild, which is also something that no other boutique brokerage or KW could offer me. It was always like, if you're not spinning your wheels, if you're not running the rat race, then you're done. Like you have to work or the money doesn't come. But yeah, like last year, just after the Panini Express, the pandemic, I needed a little bit of a kick in the pants because that wiped me out. I was just like, well, first, the scared mindset of, oh my God, what are we going to do as a world? What are we going to do as a planet? Like everything's going to shut down. And then real estate didn't have that experience. So then it was like, oh my God, I can't keep up. Like, what are we going to do? I can't keep up. So, I went to Phoenix to see, Brent Gove's, event there. And that was the moment in time that it clicked for me about rev share. Up until that point, I had been earning the stocks and, doing my normal production, and still wondering like, okay, there's got to be more. I've got to figure out how to implement this into my business. And there was one thing that you said to me that really stuck with me. And it was that you're really doing those around you a disservice if you don't tell them your story, if you don't tell them why you're at EXP, if you don't tell them about EXP. Like, it's not we don't push people, we don't pull them, kicking and screaming to come here. No. Once they're here and the light bulbs all flick on, it's unstoppable. People are unstoppable once they're here. And Phoenix did that for me. It was a big kick in the pants. I took a bunch of people to Dallas to see Tony after that. It was like that. You're just so freaking excited. You can't hold it back. You
want to bottle that feeling up.
You do. It's like, if I could, oh my gosh, I would shake it like champagne and spew it everywhere.
So would you say like events are like a key piece now moving forward in your business because you know what that's done for you?
Yeah, I think that, to begin with, because I was at KW and it was for me, a very strange experience. The sitting around round tables and singing Kumbaya and stuff was strange for me. And I don't like that. And it's not for everybody and it's not for me. But so I was apprehensive to go to any kind of events because I'm like, I don't need you guys brainwashing me and like, it's weird. I don't like it. It doesn't give me good feelings, not good vibes. But I sat in that room looking at all of these $1 million producers and other people who are $1 million producers that are doing literally nothing, like sitting on a beach, just talking about EXP. And they are making, like Jake Hinder in April of 2020 made $450,000 in rev share. And I'm like, his whole family's here. He's like, they're hopping a plane back to Texas to do whatever. Then they're
his parents, didn't he?
Puerto Rico. Yeah.
Like it's a family affair. That's another thing. Like our events are family. Like you can bring your kids.
Yeah, I brought my kids to Dallas. And that was the big Gaylord Texan Convention Center, whatever they had. Like you literally didn't have to leave the resort. The kids had a blast. But yeah, like it's not a place where I would be scared that my kids are around or that it's not a good environment. Or, I mean, any second that I wasn't in the hotel room with them or out with them, I was like, okay, what's next? What more can I hear? Who else is talking? Because I mean, we had Tony Robbins and that was amazing. Like, I mean, anybody would pay a lot. Everybody pays a lot of money to hear him speak. But it wasn't just him. It was every person that they had as a keynote speaker was just a plethora of knowledge that you have to be there to hear it, to get all of that knowledge. And everybody just comes from a place of abundance. And that is something I've never experienced, is let me share just because I don't need anything else from you. I'm going to give you because I want to, not because I can gain something from you.
Yeah. Wonderful.
But yes, a very key piece. I feel like it gives any time now. Well, I've not really had a moment in time where I felt like I couldn't, get the gumption or have the drive or whatever. But any time that I start feeling that, I would definitely be like, okay, what event's coming up next? Because I need to see these people.
Wonderful. I think that's great. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and your experience.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. I think that that's really, really important, especially been with the company for a couple of years now. And you kind of went through that process like we all do. I mean, in the beginning, I did not want to do anything except sell real estate either. And honestly, in my first year, I think I brought about 5 agents to the company, not really trying too much. And it wasn't until Brian and I met in New Orleans at an event did it click for me, and I came back home and hit the ground running. Like there's just something euphoric about our events that just sparks something inside of you. And it's not like a kumbaya. I don't know. I've never been with, Keller Williams. I was never with like that. I don't have that experience, but like, it was a very different experience for me too. So I love that you pulled that. So thank you so much. So
that was me in April. When I got back, I was like, oh my God, I got to tell everybody, like, I'm going to do something really big. You got to hear this. Like, you're missing out. Don't miss out.
I think there's something to be said about that too. Like there's no pressure to do anything here. There's no pressure to sell. There's no pressure to bring agents into the company and change their life. Listen, we have a heavy responsibility though to do this, because I feel absolutely it's selfish not telling every single agent I know, love, and want to be successful in this world about this company. There's just something about that. So thank you so much for that, Heather. I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate you as one of our partners here in St. Louis. So I want to bring on the next partner agent I have, Andrea Chafee. She is from Ventura, California, which is just north of LA, a lot different of a market than St. Louis. And I want to, Andrea, first of all, again, tell us about yourself, about your past experience, and how it's been at EXP since you joined me. It's not even been a year. Andrea's been with us since February of this year. So take it away.
And I love it. Thank you. Hi, I'm here in Ventura. It's pouring down rain. This never happens, so I'm really, really excited. I came, let's see, well, I started out at Berkshire Hathaway. I was there for about a year. I was at 2 brokerages before I got to EXP. And both of them were really, really heavy on, the training and education. It was really great. Berkshire Hathaway pounded the contract into us so hard that I can probably recite it frontwards and backwards. So that was great. But I was really slow to, learn how to realtor. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm at an open house. How do I convert people? How do I do this? And, the contracts really mean nothing until a sale brings it to life. And then you really get to know that. So I kind of spun my wheels for the first year. But I did make Rising Star there at Berkshire Hathaway. So, that was nice. My specialty market is down by the beach. So that's why it takes 2.5 houses to cap. But, so that's been really wonderful. Then after that, I went to Century 21. Our office was really, really heavy on the personal development and training and really, teaching how to connect with people and do the thing, be the realtor. And I was really, really happy there. They started transitioning over to they became a coaching company, my specific franchise. And so they started pounding this program that I was getting all this free training, once a month. They started trying to sell it to us, and they started using all the sales tactics that we were learning. I'm like, I see you. I see what you're using here. This is what you've taught me how to do. I felt a little disingenuous, but other than that, I was happy. I was kind of cruising along. My career was sort of, at a nice level. It wasn't like taking off, but I was comfortable. And I had been sort of lurking on Christina's social media for a while. And, I like the way you share EXP because you just put it out there. And I think you attract people that way. I mean, I was the one that reached out to you and I said, I'm not going anywhere, but like, I have to know what's going on over there. Like, just tell me what it's all about. And we hopped on the phone and you told me, what are your numbers? And, what are your splits? And that's what really got through to me. It was, I think at that time, I could have saved $30,000 in commissions. And that was at the time, I spoke to you 4 days later. I think I hit that button. I came right over. And again, gosh, your comment about the fire hose and being like, there's so much information all at once. There's so much to do. And that was overwhelming. And for about a day and a half, I was like, oh, what did I do? I'm so happy I made that switch. My business has skyrocketed this year. All of the goals that I had set out for myself, I had a vision board for like 2 years straight that I was like, well, I knocked off that one, but I'll keep it up. And I literally just put the next year's date on it. And this.
Oh, so you didn't hit anything on that. You just moved it all to the next year.
I did. I was just like, let's put it 2021 or so anyway, that's been blown out of the water. I have paid off my credit card debt. I have not stressed about money in months. It's been such a wonderful thing. I made some note, you guys were talking about the training and how it's accessible, 24 hours a day. And it's not listening to the same leaders in the same company talk about door knocking and talk about all of the old school ways to do it. Pick up the phone, let's do a prospecting night. And it's like the stuff that we get with KV Core was stuff that I was trying to teach myself how to do, and paying a lot of money trying to kind of piecemeal all of this together. And it's like, wait, I get this in a package with this brokerage. And I've seen that come to life too. It's like all of a sudden, leads are coming straight to me that I haven't even reached out for, which is really nice. It's like this well-oiled machine.
And your referral network, you get quite a bit now. You've plugged into Workplace.
Yes. Christina spotted one before I did. And she said, you got to reply to this person right now. We're closing on December 31st. I got a couple really great referrals for the end of the year. So that's been nice too. And just collaborating with people across the country has been really, really nice. And just, new and fresh ideas that aren't the same old, KW or Century 21, stuff that they teach you how to do.
Talk about your financials a little bit in your background and like why that's super important to you, because Andrea is definitely an interesting bird with her spreadsheets. I call her the finance queen because she's got everything mapped out. I love it. I think it's so cool to track things.
I was a finance major, so, I geek out on the numbers all day. And that's what I've been doing since day one. I have this little spreadsheet and it was like my pipeline. Okay, so this is what I could make with EXP. This is what I would have made had I stayed with Century 21. Century 21 offered me an awesome raise when I said I was leaving to come to EXP. And they gave me like, it was going to be a 90% split with a $26,000 cap. We didn't have caps before. And that made me go, oh, maybe, no, I'm really going. No, I'm really going. And so I'm tracking those numbers as well. And so this year, in the 10 months that I have been with EXP, I have saved $74,000 in commission payments.
$74,000. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
A lot of, I don't know. I look at that, to me, I equate that to vacations or shoes or a new car. I don't know.
Home improvement projects.
Home improvement projects. Yeah.
Exactly. All of the above have happened too.
Yeah. So you're super, super close to iconing too, aren't you? Like, are we getting closer to that?
We're getting closer with what I've got in the pipeline. I'll have, okay, so iconing for me is, there's a couple different ways to icon. You guys have to sell 20 more houses. I have to make it to 500,000 GCI.
It's one or the other, right?
Yeah, and so I've got, 3 more months to do like $150,000 more in my GCI. And I never, a couple of years ago, I just wanted to break 6 figures, and now I'm like, I want to get to 500 GCI. Like, I've never set goals for myself this way.
So coming to EXP, you've expanded your goals. You've been able to check some things off your vision board. You've been able to save more money, make more connections, grow your business. And I feel like you have like a newfound love and spark, like in your profession, like it's fun again.
Yes, I do. And you know what? Somebody said something about, you said something about you have more control of your business. This is the very first time I felt like the business owner. This is my business, like powered by EXP. there's a lot of power in that word power, you know. It's like, I can brand myself and I can take my business anywhere I want. And I feel like I have been more productive having, you know, not having the office to go into. I would go into the office and I go, oh, I should probably go home and cook for those people who live at my house. You know, and that would be for lunch, and then I'll pop back over, and then the rest of the day would just sort of fizzle from there. And now it's like, this is where I come. I'm here all day, and it's I don't know. I get so much more done now that I don't have a choice to go anywhere else. And you know, going into the world and getting into that weird little avatar, it is something to get used to. My kids aren't as big into video games as most others are. My 16-year-old looks at me and he goes, Mom, that's weird. Your office is weird.
My kid tries to ask me if he can play, and I'm like, no, wrong kind of game.
Right.
Well, you could put them on the boat, or they could do a backflip.
That's
like
true.
You should see the eye roll. I've tried to take him on the boat, and then he's like, Mom, this is so bad. But it is really nice because I can go in, I can, you know, there's 6 brokers in the state of California. The longest I've ever waited is 5 minutes. You know, I can sit in my cozy sweats and, you know, have a business meeting and then go straight back to, you know, to working the deal, or whatever questions that I had are just at my fingertips. And so that's really nice, instead of, like you say, getting dressed up and going into the office and the whole thing. So
it's your business.
efficient.
Yeah, it's your business. You run it how you want to run it. And if you have to go into an office, you know, go into an office. But if you don't want to do that, you don't have to do that. And so you have more control over your day-to-day and what you need to do, right? I think we all know what we need to do in this business. Otherwise, we're not going to make it. A big part of being successful in real estate is being resourceful. There's a reason why we have an 87% failure rate in this industry. And I think it's a lack of resourcefulness. And I could challenge anyone to say that EXP doesn't have the resources that you need to broker your business and 10x it in 2022. So thank you so much, Andrea. I really appreciate it. And I really do. I love that story. So does anybody have any questions? We're here like at the last 10 minutes before we hit the top of the hour. I want to be mindful of everyone's time. If anybody has any questions, you can drop them at the chat or just unmute yourself, unmute your mics. I would love if I can answer any questions that you guys are looming. Anyone?
I have a question. It's Vivian. Hey, everyone.
Hi.
So if I'm going to be double licensed soon, like in 4 days, so how does that work with EXP, since I'm already on board since September as a New York agent? How does that work with Florida?
So you'll have your primary state that you're licensed in, and then you'll also obviously have your secondary license, but you're under 1 split and 1 cap. So however you get there, it doesn't matter until you get to that 16,000 cap. So then once you hit 100%, you're 100% in both markets.
Mm-hmm.
The only additional fees that you're going to pay are to join your board, your local board there. To be licensed in that state, and then like your MLS access, your super access, like those fees. But besides that, you're not going to pay like another franchise fee because we don't have those, or royalty fee because we don't have those. So
and you'll answer in each respective state that broker. So like you can't ask the New York guy anything about Florida because he's not going to be able to answer.
He ain't gonna know. Yeah, so you'll be in both of those state groups and have access to your brokers in your respective states.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yes,
pretty cool.
And that's something too. I have 2 teams, one in Springfield and one in St. Louis, and I was paying $44,000 a year into 2 different market centers when I was with KW, and they couldn't negotiate that because the market center is independently owned. So if this one's not profitable in Springfield, they're not going to negotiate with me at all to keep bringing agents to the brokerage. So when I came over, I had both teams and it was 1 split, and I didn't have to like worry about not capping or anything like that for them to get their incentive to be on my team.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Really good point, because you're not going to be able to do
a lot of money.
Well, with a franchise, you're just not, like you said, that would have to be owned by the same exact market center owner, and the likelihood of that happening is very slim.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen in a franchise model. So.
But that 1 cap is chef's kiss.
Yeah, well, because in some other markets, as Vivian, states, you may have the potential, depending on where you're going in Florida, to sell more than you have where you are now, or vice versa. So I think it really does matter. Like for me, it's a huge difference to sell in St. Louis versus, like Destin or somewhere where, you're on vacations, or California or somewhere like that. So
Yep. Right now, I just checked my email this morning, and they have a new form now with the New York mandates. So basically, it says if you're not vaccinated, you cannot work at all. You cannot show houses, even as a realtor. So that is a problem for so many people. Just with the New York laws, it's not a law, it's a mandate. But that's an issue. So
well, it gives you options now. You have options where you don't have to leave your brokerage to make that decision. At least not at this time. So
Rick says, get out of New York. Working on it in January.
That's crazy. That is a little nuts.
Yeah. And I just got my
you have
license
options,
too, so.
you have the ability to make the choice, you know what I mean? So you can move if you need to, which is great.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. It gives you that flexibility.
Yeah. Do we have any other questions? Anything else that I can touch on that you guys have a specific question about? No? Wow, you guys are quiet over here.
I think it's part, maybe piggybacks on that a little bit too, is it also allows you to attract agents anywhere EXP is across the world. Any country you're in, any state. You don't need to be licensed in Montana to attract an agent or a team from Montana, correct?
Yeah, or Portugal or Japan, anywhere else that EXP is in. You can literally, and if we're not in the country that you want to attract in, there's a form you can even fill out to bring EXP to that country. Say you have somebody randomly that's in a country that we're not in yet, you can even do that.
And you get to talk to Michael Valdez in that situation.
Yes.
Maybe one of the coolest dudes ever.
Oh, he's amazing.
Man, where did he come from? He comes from Realty.
Realty,
He brought Realty to 113 countries. He's now our president of EXP Global.
Yeah.
One of the coolest dudes I've ever met.
He's really awesome. He's very well versed, and he is a huge part of our expansion on the international front with EXP. And I have no doubt in my mind that EXP will become the largest brokerage in the world in the next 24 months. It will happen.
Another thing people are kicking around is, we're 71,000 agents, and that's since 2009, about 12, 13 years.
Yeah.
So we're going to do more expansion in the next 12 months than we've done in the last 12 years.
So it's not too late. Is it too late?
No, we have not even left the dock.
We haven't left the dock. We're still standing on the freaking dock. The boat's still tied to the dock, okay? For where we're going on a rocket ship to the moon. So if you had any, hesitation or inclination that this might be like you might have missed the boat, you definitely have not. I'm proof of that. The growth has been just so much fun, though. I got to say, I've never had so much fun in my life selling real estate and growing my business and my streams of income. It's just been absolutely life-changing and incredible for me. So
I think that's something both you and Andrea touched on, like you were talking about losing your mom early in the year and not having that gumption and drive to produce physically as your person. And then Andrea talking about, like, my only goal was to hit 6 figures. And it's like, then you do it and you're like, okay, well, that was a lot of work. Now what? How do you supplement that income? And that was the biggest thing. Like, anytime I've had to feel like I needed my foot off the gas, for example, this last couple of weeks, I've been really sick. And so, like, having my foot off the pedal per se, hasn't damaged my family, hasn't damaged what's coming in the first of the year. And then, hitting Icon, I was very close last year, which will piss you off more than anything,
I've been there. I've been there.
So close and just like, I can taste it. It's right there.
I feel like that's going to happen. I feel like I'm going to be like $20,000 off.
And it does happen, unfortunately. I was really close 3 years ago and I missed it. So that was literally my only goal the year before last was to hit the production, just because I wanted it, not so much to say I sold that many houses, but I've changed that many lives. And now I know I've done it right. And so now, and then I hit it again, right? It was a lot easier to do it the second time.
Yeah.
Ironically.
Mark, did you have something to say? Saw your hand up there.
Yeah.
Chiming in from outer space.
I just was going to see if Christina could maybe talk about the diversity amongst the agents in EXP. That's something that I've really noticed, that EXP reaches out to everybody. And a lot of brokerages, they get real cliquish, but EXP has, I know different groups, different ladies groups and stuff like that, where they really try to be inclusive and bring people in to help them where they might be left in the dark otherwise.
Yeah, we have a lot of groups that literally we have something for everyone at EXP. There's all different kinds of groups, genres, whatever you want to try to find at EXP. There's something for everybody, inclusive. And we actually have, agent advisory council. And if you go even look and see that, like, that's a melting pot of people, like all different kinds of people from all different walks of life at this company. We've been called, like the misfits of real estate, where we really didn't fit in. So I think that we're more inclined to be inclusive of who you are, come as you are, and it's okay for you to be different or unique. Or, I mean, as Glenn will even say, he's like, when everybody goes left, I take a right. And if that's you, you're our people. So yeah, that's great. And they're very, very much inclusive of everyone. So great point, Mark. Any other questions? Well, if there's not, we're gonna end the call on a high note. I really, really, really hope that this has been helpful for you guys in your business to not only understand our business model, but hear the personal experiences, the real life personal experiences from people that are living, breathing, functioning, and thriving at EXP. We really, really, really are so excited to bring this to you. And we want you to give the gift of opportunity, not only to yourself and your families, but to every other agent that you know. It is selfish to behold this information and not share how it's working for you in your business. So take a moment and add that to your goal for 2022, is to connect with more agents and to change more lives. And by you doing this, I promise it will impact you and you will become a different human, just as it has done for me. So I wish everybody a Merry Christmas if you practice that, and a Happy New Year and Happy Holidays. And we'll see you at the next year. We'll see you next year. It's so cheesy. On the next opportunity call. So thanks so much.
So much, Christina. I really appreciate you putting in your time to do this and share the opportunity for everybody. You guys, I just want everyone to know real quick before you go, if you got some time, check out our Culhane Groups YouTube. We got so much cool trainings on there. We have Michael Branovic, Millionaire Brand Creation, got Haas Pratt, Sales Coaching, tons of stuff that we do live every week, but I try to update the YouTube as much as possible. Yeah. It's a good way to spend, those downtime hours over the holidays. So give it a shout.
Incredible training.
Yeah, thank you so much. And then, you're welcome to go if you want to hang out with me and the Christmas squirrels. I'll be here.
Oh my God, that's killing me.
Awesome. I love it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, and have a Merry Christmas. Thank you.